Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, pieces of the tragic puzzle left behind by the missing cargo ship El Faro, which disappeared during Hurricane Joaquin, are beginning to emerge. On Monday, the United States Coast Guard gave an update on the status of the search for surviving crewmen, most of whom are Americans. News2's April Knight has that story.
The cargo ship El Faro was missing since Thursday with 33 crewmen on board. Now it's believed to have been lost at sea and sunk in the middle of the fury of Hurricane Joaquin. The Coast Guard confirmed on Monday.
For our search planning efforts, we are assuming that the vessel has sank. We believe it sank in the last known position that we recorded on Thursday.
The cargo ship is believed to have serviced the Virgin Islands regularly, although according to the Virgin Islands Port Authority, because of its size, it has never docked on Charlotte Amalie, but has docked multiple times in Puerto Rico. El Faro's last known location on Thursday was en route to San Juan. The Coast Guard is still searching for survivors, but on Sunday they've already found at least one human remain.
What we have to assume as search planners is if the vessel did sink on Thursday and that crew was able to abandon ship, they would have been abandoning ship into a Category 4 hurricane. So you're talking up to 140-mile-an-hour winds, seas upwards of 50 feet, visibility basically at zero.
A Coast Guard search vessel has also found a 225-square-mile debris field of wood, cargo, and other items. The remnants of the ship are likely 15,000 feet underwater, according to the Coast Guard. 28 of the 33 crew members are American. Their families have been notified and they're awaiting anxiously for news of their loved ones. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, unconfirmed reports indicate that at least one Virgin Islander may have been on board that ship. Count on two to keep you updated. Well, due to Hurricane Joaquin, Carnival Sunshine, as we reported, will be in St. Thomas on Tuesday, October 6th. That ship was originally scheduled to call on Bermuda. The 3,400-passenger cruise ship will berth at the Waco dock at 8 a.m. and depart at 6 p.m. for Grand Turk. The Carnival Glory and Norwegian Getaway also will be in port at the Waco dock on October 6th. Carnival's proposed cruises to Cuba will include two colonial cities outside Havana, which is Cienfuegos and Santiago de Cuba, in addition to the Cuban capital, the cruise company said on Wednesday. Carnival is also working to finalize approval from the Cuban government for the planned 7-day trips from Miami on a ship from the new Carnival brand Fathom. The cruises have already been approved by the U.S. Americans cannot travel as ordinary tourists, they say, to Cuba under current U.S. regulations, but they may participate in certain types of trips, including people-to-people trips that foster cultural exchanges. Carnival says the Cuba cruises will begin in May. Hovensa is running into some difficulty as it tries to sell part of the St. Croix refinery to a potential buyer. The government of the VI filed a complaint because it's not happy with the terms and the fact that the government is not fully included in those negotiations. News2's April Knight has details.
The VI government is standing firm on not letting Hovensa go scot-free. In September, Hovensa filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy that allows it to sell its assets under court supervision. Hovensa announced Limetree Bay Holdings as the stalking horse bidder that intends to buy the storage terminal part of the Hovensa facility on St. Croix. That purchase price is $184 million. According to Hovensa, other bidders can join in provided they make a better offer than that of Limetree Bay Holdings. Limetree is a subsidiary of Boston-based company ArcLight. The government, however, finds itself shut out of the negotiations between these two companies, which are already talking about a deal that involves tax concessions by the Virgin Islands government. Furthermore, the deal also outlines that the government release Hovensa from its liabilities. That move is completely against the government filing a lawsuit for billions in damages last month. The governor announced that they filed for $1.5 billion in damages, which he said represents the benefits owed to VI employees by Hovensa from 2012 when it shut down to 2022 when it was supposed to shut down. The governor also wants the tax exemption funds back.
A 100% return of all of our tax exemptions and incentives given since 1965. This amounts to approximately or in excess of $6.5 billion.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, the Virgin Islands government also wants any bidder to freely negotiate tax concessions with the government without interference from Hess Oil. Turn our attention to crime reports. On Saturday, October 3rd at 5:51 a.m., officers received notification from the 911 emergency call center of a man down in Estate Princess's quarters below the St. Joseph Catholic High School. The caller said several shots were fired in the area earlier that day. Officers found a middle-aged black male discovered lying along the roadside just off the Queen Mary Highway with gunshot wounds to his body. EMTs examined the individual and found no signs of life. Anyone with information concerning this incident is asked to call the Criminal Investigation Bureau at 340-712-6024 or Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 8477. Also on Saturday morning, officers and detectives responded to the hospital and made contact with the shooting victim, a 21-year-old male who indicated that he was walking out of the Walter I.M. Hodge housing facility when he saw a black, heavily tinted vehicle approach him. He said the driver's side window lowered and a gun was pointed in his direction. Several shots were discharged as the victim began to run from the vehicle, and he realized that he'd been shot by a bullet. The victim stopped a vehicle that was passing by and pleaded for a ride to the hospital. He sustained a gunshot wound to his left leg. Again, call police if you can assist with any one of these investigations. Turn our attention overseas. Umpqua Community College opened its doors to faculty, staff, and students Monday, 4 days after the tragic shooting that killed 9 people. Staff and faculty were allowed on campus in the morning and students in the afternoon. Counselors were on hand for those who needed them. Administrators also helped anyone who needed assistance with financial aid or other school-related matters. Students retrieved their possessions left behind last Thursday when they fled for their lives as a shooter opened fire, killing 9 people. Classes and events won't resume until next Monday, October 12th. And keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. As we can see, everything up. The Dow up 304, NASDAQ 73, S&P 500 at 35. Coming up on News 2, classes at the Alfredo Andrews Elementary School resumed Monday. Officials from the Department of Education say the problems that closed the school for 2 days last week are now fixed. We'll also have some more information from teachers. Welcome back. Classes at the Alfredo Andrews Elementary School resumed on Monday. Officials from the Department of Education say the problems that closed the school for 2 days last week are now fixed. The school was dismissed early Thursday and remained closed Friday because of the broken water line. Maintenance crews worked overnight Thursday to repair the broken pipes, but additional time was needed for the pipe fittings to properly dry and avoid further leaks. In other news, the alleged sick-out last week at St. Croix Central High School has put the spotlight on some of the other challenges facing the Department of Education. The St. Croix Federation of Teachers Union president says she's been pushing to get a lot more issues addressed. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
More than 20 teachers called in sick last week Thursday. Broken air conditioning throughout the school was blamed for the sick-out. But the maintenance problems there are just the tip of the iceberg at many public schools.
The mold situation and supplies and equipment, breaking down of copying machines, computers, connectivity to the internet is a major issue. Everything that we do is connected to the internet. I mean, and that's our reality. The smart boards, they need parts, also, then they're very costly, the Promethean boards, and that's a major tool in the teacher's toolkit.
Teachers Union President Rosa Soto Thomas said many of the smart boards haven't been repaired for years. She doesn't blame this administration for problems she said they inherited.
It has been a long-standing issue that no one has been maintaining the schools. And I must say that they're taking the bull by the horn with what they've got, and they're trying to work it and stretch it out as much as possible.
Thomas spoke with Education Commissioner Dr. Sharon McCullum last week, who plans to petition senators for more money for the department's budget.
She did inform me that she is requesting additional money to the tune of $3.1 million from the Senate, $3 million from the Senate, to actually address the maintenance issues, the ongoing maintenance issues that we have at our schools.
The VI government is strapped financially in almost every department in need, so getting any extra money could be a challenge.
She shared with me that she's trying aggressively, but the monies are not there right now. I mean, we know that the fiscal year just started. That budget hasn't been signed yet.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
News 2 will continue to update you on any developments with the public schools and funding to address the many challenges. Well, kudos are in order. The Miss USVI Talented Teen Competition was held on Saturday. 4 talented young ladies vied for that title at the BCB Auditorium. Big congratulations to Akira Pickering-Haynes, the newly crowned Miss USVI Talented Teen 2015-2016. Akira also was awarded Miss Photogenic, Best Interview, Best Couture Wear, and Best Evening Wear. She will be representing the USVI in St. Kitts in December at the Caribbean Talented Teen Pageant. This year's competitors also included contestants Nasia Lynch, Janicia Jackson, and Kayla Nielsen. The ladies were judged on oral presentation, interview, evening wear, and talent. Well, officials from WAPA testified before senators Monday to talk about the results of a recent audit. That audit was conducted by Vantage Energy Consulting in February, and WAPA's director answered questions about the authority's response. News 2's Erica Parsons has details.
WAPA's executive director, its governing board chair, and the director of the VI Energy Office all fielded questions from lawmakers about the management audit released in February from Vantage Energy Consulting.
The authority was generally pleased with the audit, and of the 35 recommendations, 1 being duplicate, has wholly accepted all but a handful of recommendations.
The audit suggested 35 recommendations. WAPA has accepted 26 of them and shared with lawmakers their plans for implementation. The authority rejected the remaining 9 recommendations.
When most utilities have reduced staffing by 20 to 30%, we've actually grown by 21%, even in light of the downward trend. So I was wondering if first you could help me contextualize that as to why our case is different.
When I came to the authority, we had 661 employees. Today we have 598. A significant reduction in staff through attrition. Numbers in the audit are completely wrong as it comes to personnel.
The audit's consultant testified via teleconference saying they used information provided from WAPA's Human Resources Division. A major deal coming out of the audit, an updated strategic plan for WAPA. The last one was done in 2002. WAPA's governing board will spearhead the effort to get that completed. Lawmakers expressed continued concern with WAPA's aging equipment and past decisions, but one senator said the focus should be on moving forward.
I know a lot have been done in the past, whether you did it the right way, the wrong way, whatever. I generally want to look at what it takes to correct the problem and get the maximum efficiency out of the utility today.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
In other news, innovative cable TV and wireless customers on the island of St. Croix experienced an outage on October 4th due to damages to the company's underground infrastructure caused by WAPA. Innovative officials were made aware that a WAPA crew working in the area of Centerline Road damaged an underground 24-fiber optic cable. Customers in the area of Frederickstead were without cable TV, and some experienced cellular service disruptions. Service was down from approximately 11:45 a.m. Innovative technical crews reported to duty. Cable TV service was restored by 7 p.m. of the same day. Innovative Wireless customers in the area of Estate Cottage were still affected by a cellular service outage, which was restored today at 12:30 p.m. You can call Innovative for more information. Innovative Cable TV, St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix may experience some service interruptions in the coming weeks, and that's due to interruptions that's called sun outages. These foreseeable brief interruptions can last up to several minutes a day and are caused by the sun outages. Sun outages typically occur twice a year. They are due to interference from solar radiation, and they can cause interruption in satellite signals. When the sun is lined up directly with a satellite's communication, the sun's radiation blocks the satellite signal. This year, it's expected that this phenomenon will occur between October 4th and October 13th, 2015, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Degradation of the signal may last for several minutes. While the air was filled with mouth-watering aroma of barbecue ribs yesterday at the 8th annual Rib Cook-Off that was sponsored by Crew de Croix, the North Shores above the cliff hosted this fun favorite event where 7 culinary teams put their recipes to the ultimate test. Pork, beef, and alligator ribs were on that menu, providing a great variety of taste. When the judges' votes were tallied, Dean Andrews of Ricky D's Licious Eats took home the top honors. Congratulations.
Came in second last year, so I did a couple of tweaks to the recipe this year and changed a couple of things. We did a little more local stuff. We did a little guava. We smoked it with a sea grape and an apple wood to give it a different taste. And I think that pushed it over the top.
Big congratulations to all the participants. Be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.